Hello, my name is Milton Imatuch, and I grew up in Southeast LA, specifically in the city of Huntington Park. And so here in Huntington Park, we have an area called Pacific Boulevard, and that is where the downtown of Huntington Park. And so locals here in the area call it La Pacific, and that's where you go and you go shop. You also go to the theaters. You could also go play arcade. But also that's where we have a lot of food options, and we have a lot of places to hang out as a community. And so the reason that I go and shop and eat at La Pacific is because I feel like it represents what's happening in our community. Huntington Park wasn't always majority people of color, majority immigrant community. It actually was Tongva from the beginning, and then it became Mexican property, and then it became United States. And so once it became United States in the early 1900s. That's when pretty much we had restrictive housing, where white people lived in this area and were the only ones that were able to live, work, and go to school here. And so it wasn't until the 70s when there was a dramatic change in the businesses. There was a dramatic change in industry that left, but also the industry that stayed were also the worst paying jobs, or also the dirtier industries. And so that's when a lot of the middle class, working class Jew families left the area, and that's when people of color were able to come into Huntington Park and live and work at the jobs that folks didn't want. And so I grew up here in Huntington Park part of my life. I'm from Guatemala, and so I ended up traveling to Southeast LA. And so my family, we lived here for around 10 years when I was in high school. So I went to HP High School. And so again, my family, we would come and shop at La Pacific, and that's when I realized that I saw how the things had changed, right? I feel that it is a privilege to be able to select, oh, do I want to eat Thai food today? Do I want to eat Indian? Or maybe I want to eat Mexican? Or maybe I want to eat Salvi? I feel like I have a privilege of being able to choose types of food that I want to eat. But also I feel like and that's because it's reflective of so much diversity that's in our communities. Again, like I mentioned, now it's a majority people of color community. It's also very heavily populated by immigrant folks, and so I feel that is a direct representation of why we have options and why we have different business owners that are no longer are we only feeding ourselves, or we only have the ability to eat burgers, but we also have the ability to eat much more other things.